Welcome to Focus. My name is Leroy Smith, and today we're coming to you from Wholesome Foods and Variety Bakery. They specialize in baking a number of variety of breads and pastries and so on, and they're located at East and New Market Streets in Georgetown. So this morning we'll be speaking with Mitchell Humphrey, and he will tell you a bit about himself. Mitchell, welcome to Big Smith News Watch Focus.
Thanks for having me this morning.
All right, so tell my viewers, tell us a bit about yourself before we get into what takes place at this location.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Mitchell Humphrey, and I am the proprietor of Wholesome Foods. A little bit more about myself. I have been a chef for over 20 years. I have had training overseas and locally. I've also been quality control with the National Flour Mill as well as baking consultant. And over the years, I have been able to represent them locally and overseas as well. And so with this skill, I decided after further training and further thought that it might be nice to give back to Guyana, to Guyanese, and one way is to bring wholesome foods more available and more affordable to Guyanese.
All right, so Mitch, tell us what are some of the specialized flour products, finished products that we could find at Wholesome Foods?
Well, some of them are, you can get, let's take those for breads alone. Mm-hmm. We have baguettes. We use sourdough, which is an old ancient method of making bread. Actually, sourdough, because of the bacteria that it has, it actually helps people who have stomach problems. It helps with digestion. It helps with the absorption of food and the values of those foods, as opposed to the non-traditional way of making breads. So we introduce that into all our products, so it's much more healthier. So the bread products range from our diabetic breads, mm-hmm. with the composition of cane juice because of the chromium that exists.
And that is this here?
Yes.
Okay.
So it has no crystallized sugar. It has just the cane juice because of the chromium that exists in it, which helps to stabilize your blood sugar. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, we have added black seed, flax seed, aniseed, and chia. And so all of that helps overall with keeping your cholesterol in low, as well as it's very good for diabetics.
And if you look here closely, it's well labeled. This tells you that it's diabetic-friendly vegan bread. It also has what the ingredients are. So this is quite impressive. There are also contact numbers here. I'm going to keep this one, so I'll purchase this when we finish. So no biggie in me touching it.
Right.
What do we have here?
So these are what's new, because traditionally Guyanese love a tennis roll, but because of the high sugar content, they're not something that I readily wanted to get into. Mm-hmm. So after great thought, I decided to make a new formulation. So the content of the sugar in tennis roll here at Wholesome is less than 10% of what is being offered to the general public. And what we do is add cane juice, as well as we incorporate the same sourdough.
But cane juice does produce its own sugar.
Yes.
So tell us a bit about how you...
Well, it's natural sugar. Most of it is natural sugar. Sugars that are crystallized are normally, there are chemicals added to it and so forth. Huh? Okay. And so the body has a hard time processing that. And if you use too much of that over time, then you can have complications. Unlike, for example, if someone has a low blood sugar, and you were to actually just take a couple grains of sugar and put it on your tongue, almost in 5 minutes, you you feel good again. You could drink a glass of cane juice and that would never happen. So it goes in, it's breakdown much slower and over a long period of time. And that is exactly good for the body.
Remind our viewers of your location, Mitch.
Our location is situated at the corner of East and New Market Street. The lot number is 350.
Mitch, tell us what is this?
This is, again, taken from the local bread, the Bobby breads. Again, we add the sourdough, a low sugar content, and we add aniseed, which is also very healthy. So we try to do everything rather than going the simple old-fashioned way of just flour and water, as they say. We make sure that we add value to our products.
Okay, who are some of your large customers, your large-scale customers that probably buy in bulk? So do you have those?
Well, we don't do large distributions because of space and all of that, and it's more like a customized clientele basis where we have a one-on-one. We also do gluten-free. So this is the only place in Ghana where you can come, people who has gluten intolerance, and we can make products that is non-flour here. So we like the personalized touch. So we don't do it on a large commercial level. But if you come in and you tell us what you want, within a day, we can have it made for you.
Let's see what's going on at the back. So we're in the general kitchen area where all the heat and everything is at. So we're in the kitchen, so we'll deal with the heat. Mitch, what do we have here?
Well, this is a gluten-free banana cherry muffin with walnuts, and the composition of the flours are chickpeas and lentil.
What does
with
this
some
do?
rice.
What does this do for the body? So there's rice in here?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is a composition, because when you buy the mix, it comes with rice and sometimes they put chana, we call as known as chickpeas, and then we have lentil or split peas inside. So it has no gluten. So basically what that means is that if you were to actually put this flour in a bowl with some water, it would never hold, because wheat flour, the only flour that has the elasticity because of the gluten inside. Now, a lot of people around the world are having problems with gluten, and so they're getting hives, they're breaking out and all of that and so forth. So this is a good way to actually make something that they can still feel that they're eating healthy, but it is similar to something that resembles wheat.
Okay, and what do we have here?
This is an Italian flatbread, basically called focaccias, and they're very light. They're made with, again, sourdough, and we use olive oil, which are the two main ingredients to make this breads. And we use this because it really, if you have one of our sandwiches and you will try it, you will see that it's unlike any sandwich that you will ever have.
Mitch, tell us about the investment to start this. How long has this business been around and so on?
Well, now we're just covering 4 years.
Were there any other locations that you were at before arriving here and so on?
No, this is the beginning of where we started, and this was, like I said, it was a vision of mine, and I started this with no money. I had just regular equipment, like for example, the domestic ovens. So that's how we started, and we've managed over time to be able, with the help of iPad, to be able to do all of this. So it's tough, and then when we thought that we would have had a breakthrough, COVID came, and so 1 year we just were able to to just survive this period. Thankfully, we have our products allow us never to shut during COVID. We were able to still open and cover our expenses.
Mitch, tell us a bit about Mitch Humphrey, your childhood, growing up, and so on. Let's get into your personal life. Tell us a bit about you.
Well, I grew up with my dad and my stepmom because my mother had migrated. And so my dad was an entrepreneur. So he did everything that you can think about to bring in money. And he also did food. My stepmother, she was a very good cook. And so the early learnings of cooking was through them. I never liked it. It's not something that I, as a child, grating coconut and so forth, was a horror for me. I would cry for hours just to grate one coconut. But then one day I found the art of grating the coconut, and that was that you had to put it on the point and grate it. And when that point finished, you turn to the next point. And then what used to be hours just turned into 15 minutes. And so it made me had a change of view in terms of what could be done once you know what you're doing. And so from those earlier periods, I've always been involved in cooking. Even after I left school, my first job was in a restaurant. I think it was Calypso then, years ago. And while not in the kitchen, while I was a stores clerk, everyone would come to me and ask me to try out the food, taste it, and tell them what I think and so forth. And so over the years, that was how I began to get more involved in cooking, as it were.
So Mitch taught us the art there of grating coconut. I'll tell you that I will stick to the blender and the knife. So Mitch, employment, how many persons are employed and so on here?
Well, because of the nature of our business, we have not been able to have a large scale employment. This is a particular trade that requires skill. And even if a person didn't start it out that way, they had to come with a skill. And so the young men that are with me, they came with a skill set. Because what I found out is that in training, that there's a program called PD, Personal Development. In Guyana, we don't teach that. I don't know if they teach it in the university here, but in colleges overseas, they teach personal development. And so it helps a person to deal and navigate the work environment. And so a lot of our local people here haven't got that. So if you talk to somebody about the need for quality and care and cleanliness and hygiene in dealing with food and sanitation and so on, sometimes they take it personally. And it's hard to translate that. And so a person with a skill who would have already begun some training, it's easy for them to transition from their skill set into a skill set that is brand new and be taught and learned.
Okay, so we'll have a quick interaction with the two young men who are working. They're non-Guyanese, but they found a home here in Guyana, and they're gainfully employed, and they're also contributing to some of the wholesome foods that you're eating. So we'll engage with those guys. We've been speaking with Mitch. Mitch is the proprietor of Wholesome Foods, and this is located at
the corner of Eastern New Market Street, lot number 350.
So we're here with Christopher Mendonza. Christopher, tell my viewers a bit about yourself.
Well, actually, my name is Christopher. I'm born in Venezuela. I'm about 4 years now in Guyana. And yet, I'm one of the workers on Wholesome Food. I'm the supervisor, and I'm the person in charge of the filling of the pastries, preparation, burgers, sandwiches, stuff like that.
How are you liking it in Guyana?
Everything going well so far, so
I'm advised that you have ties to Guyana. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, basically my parents, they're Guyanese. So I'm born in Venezuela, but you know, since I was a child, I'm born in a Guyanese culture. And yeah, that makes me now get accustomed to this environment easier. So
Thank you very much. All right, so we're here with another one of the employees at Wholesome Food, and this is Joss. Joss,
SS.
Joss. So Joss will tell us a bit about himself and working here at Wholesome Foods. Tell us a bit about yourself, Joss.
Hi, my name is Joss. I'm part of Wholesome team. I'm the manager in charge of the production in the environment. And in charge also of the mixing process of the doughs and maintain the balance in most of our stuff in terms of productions, what we do, and how to manage for do it and for prepare our stuff.
Good to see you enjoying it here.
Yeah, so far.
Okay, good. So that is all we have for you today, coming from Wholesome Foods here in Georgetown. My name is Leroy Smith, and you've been watching Focus. Thank you very much for joining us, and do join us again very soon.